Hello everyone, welcome to the Singapore Grand Prix. So it is of course an Apex Online racing for the league race. I'm Singapore as already mentioned in my Ferrari, and as always you join me on my outlap for qualifying. Taking it relatively easy, you can see. That's the thing, something I'm taking to doing now, taking it pretty easy on my outlap. But also trying to maintain the gap to the car behind if I can. So I can have a nice clean lap and not have to worry about how close he is to me. So then, since you're seeing this lap, then this is going to be my best lap I believe for quali. First lap of course, no time set as you can see there. No time set at all. 12 people in the session then, so a few people, but could be better definitely. I've already started using some curves and full throttle on the final corner. Just avoid going wide. They're very, very close, right on the line, but just don't manage to keep it on there. Go to rich fuel as well. And braking late into the first corner, then take a nice little curve both from the inside and the outside. Done that sweetly again, not cut or extended any corners there, right down to first gear. And pretty sweet exit there. Don't normally like going quite so wide as that, but it's worked out pretty well that time. And go to rich once again there, just trying to keep two wheels inside that white line. Just about managed to do that, very, very much on the edge there though. And the rest is wide open now, and half of curves has been used then for the run to the end of the first sector rather. And 0.7, that's a very good first sector. I believe taking lots of curb both inside and outside. Once again, that's another tactic I use there. And braking quite late there. I want to avoid that curb on the inside. That's how I take that. I know Onage, for example, I find out in the race at least that he takes a lot of curb there and completely missed my apex there. Trying to get on the throttle, just managed to avoid the barrier. Very, very close that was. Out for the gears now, down to the run to the next corner, braking just at the 50 metre board, not quite, but not far off it. Right at the second gear, take a nice little curb. Gets turned in nice now, take lots of curb on both sides. Bit of slide in between the corners there, push me a little bit wider than I'd like. But not bad at all now, braking heavily. Then right down to first for this, the hairpin. Always going to call that chicane, but it's not, it's a hairpin. And just touching the curb there, which did cost me a little bit of time, but again, very, very small margins. To the end of the second sector now then, it's a 4.0, pretty good first couple of sectors there though, but I have been into the threes before in practice. And I will tell you my PB at the end of this lap then, so braking them right in the second, taking nice lots of curb there, and I do take a lot of curb here as well. I don't believe Onage does, but this might be perhaps faster to avoid that curb, but I personally take it up until now, and again, just trying to nail the curbs as much as I can whilst not cutting any corners. This is the last one really that I can cut. Take a nice little curb, but again, no cuts there or extends, and nice and wide down the exit, just as close as I can to the barrier. Full throttle final corner then, and we flip then straight to the next lap. Already did a 1 minute 37.091. So not bad lap to win straight away, straight off the track there. And corner cutting straight away. But I'm going to carry on this lap just to see what I could have done, because these tyres aren't going to be used now. So while you watch that, it's a little bit wide there once again over the line there. Just pushing hard now. I've made that corner cut anyway, might as well push to the limit. Since I'll box at the end of this lap anyway, since I cut the corner and the lap is invalidated. So 37.091 then. Onage has got a 0.58, so just a couple of hundredths between us once again. I like about 100 up there. And again, a little bit wide there, just pushing, not really caring too much since I've already got a corner cut on this lap. Better corner there, hit my apex a little bit better. Sweeter exit as well, minimise wheel spin to the absolute max. And once again, missed my apex a little bit there, but not too bad. You do want to avoid that curve on the inside, so it's not gone too badly. As I said, still pushing on this lap to see if I can get up any more time. Not far off Onage, so just a couple of hundredths would do it. Not this lap's going to count, as I keep saying, but just trying to push now, as I said, to see what I can do for the third and final lap. See if I can improve it at all. And using the rest of my curves then at the end, exit that hairpin there. Am I up? I am indeed, almost a 10th up there, so real shame I cut that first corner, as this definitely could have been a pole position lap as we now skip ahead. The final run, unfortunately, I didn't improve, didn't cut corners, just did not improve my time, and neither did Onage though, so that leaves us very, very close indeed, just 3.5 hundredths apart there in qualifying. So neither of our PBs, my PB was a 1 minute 36.6, I believe it was, maybe it's 7, but still, I know for a fact I lost 0.3 of a second through the middle sector. I know the first and final sectors were pretty good, but middle sector was poor. Lost, like I said, 0.3. Good luck for my teammate there to get all the way up to third position. And 7.5 tenths back though from pole, so a little way, but definitely could be worse. So setup then, 11.6 wings, so very high wings, 52.48 high large, 111 balance, as is equivalent standard, 1111 suspension, because the slow corners, relatively short gears there, and 4 left camber, 4 right toe. So like I said there, very, very soft suspension to help me in the slower corners, to help me over the curbs as well. And the strategy then, so what we're going to do, of course, we are starting on option tyres, and going to lap 6 at the moment for a set of primes. And as I said, well, as I've said many times, this was a few weeks ago, this race, so I'm pretty much watching it as you are. Don't really know what's going to happen, can't remember my strategy either. And pit on lap 7 then, looks like it for this first set of primes. And then going to do 12 laps then on the second set of primes, to then go 12 laps to the end by the looks of it. So presuming I keep that setup. Do I? Don't I? Do I? Don't I? Having a good old think about it. And am I going to keep it? Taking ages about it. While I watch this rather interesting screen in the background, I'll talk through my setup again. So very high wings on this track. tend to run high wings on the very tight circuits where you really don't need straight line speed. Tends to give you better lap time out of it. And 1-1-1-1 suspension, as I said, to help me, as I've got 1 lap shorter there right at the end. I had a good think about it, and I've got 1 lap shorter. So pitting on lap 6 then for the first set of primes, and then doing just 11 laps. Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. 12 laps and 13 laps then on the primes, I guess. But we'll, as usual, play it by ear. In the race, we can always change that up, no problem. So Ferrari 2 and 3 then. They're on pole by that smallest of margins there alongside me. But I'm on the inside, so hopefully I can get a good start and pull ahead of him. Granny just behind him was a pretty good starter as well, so need to be mindful of him. Straight to Rich then. So 4 lights, 5 lights then, as we wait for him to go out, and they're out then, so straight away, pulling away from the grid. And a pretty good job there, but getting a bit of wheel spin there as my teammates managed to pull alongside me. And Owen's also managed to pull away, getting a break there, but that's not been a bad start at all. Not bad. I'm right behind Owen now. Look at this, touching his gearbox virtually. And like I said, good start. I'm happy with that. Didn't lose any positions, didn't gain any, but had a relatively poor start compared to everyone else, so it could have been worse. And a little bit wide there, almost into the barrier. Can use the rest of my curves now then in the slipstream of ownage just to make sure that my teammate doesn't think about having a look at me. And absolutely gain. Look at this, look how much I gain on ownage there, just down that one straight. He's gone a little bit deep there. He does tend to take a little bit longer than me to settle into the races, so if I can pounce over, that'd be good. And once again there, look how slow he is through there. Breaking a lot out of me, being really quite cautious. And once again running very wide. I almost have a look, I was inside, but it wasn't enough room there. Got a bit of a wiggle on the exit there. Just trying to lay the power down the best I can. And I've gone a little bit wide there. I've followed this line through here, unfortunately. Could have been a lot closer if I didn't. And managed to avoid cutting and extending just through there. And we'll mention as well, I've been brought up on my cutting and extending in these new races. So well, this race was way before this got brought up. That'll apply from India in terms of racing. But I'm more mindful of it now in both my commentary and watching this video back. So that's why I'm mentioning that a little bit more. So I'd say a couple of stabs of that turn in, though, turning a bit too early, would have nailed the curb. And looks like my teammate's in a bit of trouble there. From Granu in the McLaren. And does he manage to stay ahead? I've gone way deep there, way deep. Going to cost me a lot of time on the exit here. And looks like Granu did manage to get past by the looks of it. And that did cost me time, but could be worse. Definitely a little bit deep there once again, almost touching the barrier. Just don't seem to be as good in this final sector as ownage. But it's going alright so far. ... Coming on the final corner now. I expect it's still just about be under a second to ownage, will it? It's going to be close. And yeah, well under a second actually. 7/10 of a second. And Roman's managed to get past back past head of Granu there. 3.4 seconds already then between me and ownage and the rest of the field. And quite a big gap being pulled out straight away. And a little bit wide in that first corner, but got away with it. Didn't really cost me any time. Didn't gain any either. So just once again gone deep there though. That's going to cost him down this straight because I'm able to get my power a little bit early. Use my curves as well. Using just over half there. Nicely gain on him here through the slipstream. He does tend to run shorter gear ratios than me though, so he does tend to get better straight line speed without slipstream. So next, that's just corrected there. 0.3 of a second only between us now, so I just touch that curb. You don't want to do that. You want to do what ownage does and absolutely nail it or not touch it at all. And unfortunately, I've just tapped it there, which is not a quick throw on that corner for sure. But anyway, so then it looks like he's managed to pull out a little bit of gap there, taking a nice line through there though, cutting the curb beautifully, and a couple of stabs there and still managed to cut the corner and got a warning for it. Fair enough. Took about 3 or 4 stabs at that turn and still ended up cutting it. His ownage got a little bit deep there. So then went to close right up to him. Look at this. Trying to get a good exit, which I've done beautifully. Very good traction there, which the soft suspension definitely helps with. Just 3/10 once again then, so he managed to pull out, but then lost it all in that hairpin. See if I can stick with him now then to get nice and close to him down the straights. He did pull out me in the final set of the last lap. Get it slowed down a lot better this lap. Bit of oversteer there though, and there we go. You can see him taking his alternative line to me there. Very interesting this track. He takes a lot of different lines to me. Both take very similar lines through there. He avoids the curb through there, but looks of it, whether that's lag or not, I'm not sure. And once again, he tends to avoid that curb, which I absolutely don't. And taking a lot of curb there on the exit. And through his final corner, what does he do? He again avoids that curb. I'm not bothered about taking it with my soft suspension. A little bit deep there, but got away with it again. Not DRS just yet. We'll be on the next straight. They're just 3/10 between us. This is a lot closer than it was last lap. And again, he avoids a lot of curb. Whether he's running wide or whether it's the lag, I'm not sure. But he tends to avoid him. And look at this. Once again, absolutely touching his gearbox virtually. Very, very close. And I managed to do a fastest lap of the race as well. One at 42.771. So I'm faster than ownage at this phase of the race. I think if I get past it, we'll be able to pull away. Not by a lot, but just by a little bit. I've got DRS now, though, and the slipstream. So can I get somewhere near him? You know, it looks like I've used a lot of curves, but I've saved all of mine. So hopefully I can stick with him. I must use a lot of curves to pull that out for me when I have DRS and slipstream. I'm going to save all mine then for the back straight and see how we get on. I'll show you which straight I mean in a minute. And once again there, his alternative line taking lots of curb there. It doesn't settle the car. And we'll take the virtually same line through there. Once again, just licking that curb there. Don't want to be touching that if I can help it. So in the slipstream once again down this straight then. And once again, he runs a little bit wider than me there, but I end up right in his dirty air, which is not what you want to be again. Having to take a couple of stabs at that corner. Managed to avoid cutting that time though, just about. And you want to avoid that bridge. There always used to be a glitch there which would destroy your car if you just touch the barrier, so I want to try and avoid that if I can. And pretty good exit there from both of us, but look at this now. I managed to get on them with all my curves, then just going to get nice and close to him, but not quite close. I'll have a little look up his inside there. Force him to in the middle of the track just in case, and look how close I am to him now then, right in his slipstream. Use the rest of my cars on the exit, then have a look around up the inside here, but he's wise to that. We can very early be very, very easy to lock your wheels through there. And managed to avoid doing that, both of us did. And nice and close to him, but still not close enough to make a move. And look at this once again, virtually touching his gearbox through here. Definitely faster than him, I think. Just able to stick so close to him through these corners, and hopefully I'm saving my tyres a bit better than him, but we'll see. Dirty air doesn't tend to be very good for tyre wear. A little bit of ease off through there in the beginning parts of these races, at least this race. Less than 3/10 this time, then DRS is wide open, but going to be nowhere near close enough to him. Have a little look at his inside just to scare him more than anything. Once again, take a couple of stabs at that, trying to avoid cutting or extending, even though I hadn't been caught up on it up to this race. I still do try and avoid it, always cutting and extending. I don't want to be doing it, but it's easy to happen when of course you're pushing very hard. So then DRS once again use a bit of curves this time, not too much, just a little bit to help me out that corner, but it looks like he's had a very good exit there and a very good first sector. He's a long way away from me, probably 4/10. And there we go, 4/10, just under 5. So he's able to start to pull away from him, then hopefully he's not going to continue that. Hopefully his tyre isn't better than mine or something like that. It's very rare that happens, but all up in his dirty air as I am, it's not good for tyre wear. Once again, just touching that curb there. I don't want to try and avoid doing that if I can. It just causes a little bit of oversteer on the exit when that happens. You just bounces the car a little bit and just pushes you that little bit wider than you want to be. And once again, missed my first apex there. You want to be all over that curb on the first part of that chicane if you can, which I did not manage to do. Getting also down once again. He's run a little bit wide there, but looks of it, or by my standards he has anyway. Once again, lots of curves to use here, but not really anywhere near close enough so we can use all of it. Just try and get closer to him, and half a second it is now, so he's managed to pull out a tiny bit more than me in that middle sector. Ooh, bit of oversteer there on the exit. And we're on lap 4 then. Tyres are starting to wear, but not too bad. Not going to be pitting just yet. And you do expect the tyres to wear on this track. There's lots and lots of corners per lap. 4 laps isn't too bad. Considering how many corners there is, I think it's 22 corners, isn't ridiculous on this track. So lots and lots of corners, but once again, a little bit wide there. Now we're going just to pull out. Just concentrate on trying to close the gap if I can. A little bit wide there. Managed to avoid the barrier though, just about, and he's got a reasonable gap to me now then, taking lots of curve there on the inside. He's got a reasonable gap to me. What is it? It's almost 6/10 now then, but I've got DRS and slipstream, so I'll be closing down this straight. Need to nail this first corner though, not quite nailed that curb, and just straightened up too early there, ended up cutting the corner a little bit. But look how close I am to him now then, beautiful. Trying to get a good exit, which I've done reasonably well. Just trying to stick with him once again, nicking the curbs there. This is not the best way to touch them, and once again using a bit more curves now then. I'm learning, I always do. I never ever do the same thing every lap when it's not working. Always do different things. Because yeah, it's pointless just doing the same things over and over again. If I defend easily, so I've used a lot more curves there, so then we're going to be a lot closer to him. And 3/10 of my previous end, that's purple first sector, so very good first sector indeed. My teammates actually done a fast lap of the race there. I believe he damaged his front wing and he's now on fresher tyres, which will explain that. 7/10 of a second faster than us, so a lot quicker. So a lot closer to ownage now as well. Again, taking a couple of stabs there, trying to avoid cutting the corner. I know you can gain quite a bit by cutting those corners. I don't think the game really picks you up on it too harshly either. And look how close I am to him now then. This is good. Getting a good exit once again, using the rest of my curves now then. Now I'm closer to him, but still nowhere near close enough to have a dive at the inside there. Braking zone just isn't big enough. And he's had to go to the inside there. I'll have a look once again at Brandon's outside, but no, he's had a slightly better exit than me. Had to avoid him there. Go dive to the inside once again there. I hope he makes a mistake, but doesn't happen. Once again, touching his rear end here. Taking a very similar time to him that time. And sticking a lot closer, just 2/10 of a second between us then at that last count. And look how close I am to him now. Oh, a bit of oversteer from him there, just wiggling around all over the place. Due to a bit next lap than I am. And look how close I am to him now then. This should hopefully be an overtake very soon indeed. And does he pit? He does indeed. He dives straight over to the left. And I take a lot of curve there and cut the corner. Just, I think I was just distracted him with him coming to the pits there. I didn't really know what to do. Just ended up turning him way too early. And too deep there once again. But DRS pushing too hard now. Went too deep. 3.3 seconds then to him, but of course that's irrelevant. He was in the pits at that time, so we need to push now then. Just avoided that curb nicely there. So there's a couple of stabs at the throttle, trying to get the front end to grip and avoid that barrier, which I managed to do nicely. Using lots of curves now. I've gone to Rich on this straight just to try and reduce the gap that will undoubtedly be to ownage. Down to second, lots of curb, both inside and outside, but trying not to cut or extend once again. Right down to first, get it turned in, just avoid the curb nicely, get a good exit, a bit of oversteer there, but not too bad. Down to second, get it turned in, just avoid the curb, beautiful. This is a lot better now. Now I'm not only just dirty yet, a lot better lines. But of course he will have much fresher tyres than me, so I'll be amazed if he doesn't come out ahead of me. A little bit deep there, but we'll get away with that. And lots of curb once again, wasn't perfectly there, but these tyres are worn, so can't expect to be getting perfect corners. Sweet there, turned in beautifully, going to get on the exit. Oh, a bit of wheel spin there, but get away with it. Ease off the throttle, shift up second to avoid the big bit of wheel spin. Actually 3 tenths down on my previous lap then. Of course that was without DRS though in the long back straight, so it's not a bad achievement considering these tyres are obviously a lap older than last lap. And oh, missed my apex a little bit there. You don't doing that in there, you can see it just kicked the rear end round a couple of times. It's just not good there, just touching the curb. You want to nail it, so you've got the advantage of effectively cutting the corner like that. Not literally cutting it because you leave 2 wheels inside the white line, but you take a lot of curb there. So you've got the advantage of being that much, probably another metre or 2 towards the inside. Or you don't want to touch it at all, so you don't have the disadvantage of it unsettling your car. So I go a little bit deep there, all over the curb. Didn't want to be doing that. Too deep there with these worn tyres and heavy car. Into the pits now then. Should have a nice clean pit, and no one should hold me up. There's no one within 3 seconds of me. Moving 4 or 5 seconds, so there we go. Smuff also stays out, by the looks of it. And where's Energy? I expect he's one of these 2 cars that I can see back there. One's going to the pits. And I don't know, he'd be a long way ahead if that is him. I presume it's the next car. It must be this car here. And I think it must be him. Yes, it is him. So he flies straight past then. A little way ahead. Trying to avoid crossing that white line there. It's very hard there with it jutting out into the inside there. So what is the gap then? That's what we need to know. The tyres are still quite cold, but the rear is already reasonably warm there, look. With those traction zones. Oh, again, a couple of stabs of throttle trying to avoid that wall there. Almost ended up in the wall. Just because I expected these tyres to have more grip. I know they're cold, but usually the fresher tyres give you a bit more grip than that. Of course, they have prime tyres as well, so not helping. Yeah, it's looking good so far. 20.8 seconds, then we'll try and remember that. 3.5 seconds there, which is too deep there. Way too deep, though. That was not a great corner at all. Once again, expecting a bit more grip from these tyres. Not getting it. Oh, a bit deep there once again. Just managed to avoid the barrier. Just not again, just managing to avoid the barrier, though. And sweet corner that time, though. Taking a nice lot of curb. Get turning early for this one. Take nice lots of curb both sides. Beautiful once again. It's looking a lot better now. The tyres starting to get warmed up, starting to build confidence, starting to know the grip levels of these tyres. A little bit wide there, just missed my apex, but nothing that'll worry me. And he's starting to catch the car ahead. Hopefully he gets in the way, whoever it is. And he's very close to him now. 20.5, then so gained 3 tenths on my previous lap in that middle sector alone. 3.9 to ownage, so he's gained 4 tenths on me in the middle sector. And coming towards the end of this lap now then. All over the curb. Can I manage to close him down? Am I going to be faster at this stage of the race? I need to be really. He's got a little bit, well, a large gap to me. 4 seconds with 1 lap undercut. That's a big gap. So I don't think tyres are that marginal that they're going to run out in this race. So we'll of course have more worn tyres than me, but they won't run out, and he was very close to the car ahead there. Must have lost some time. All over his, all in his slipstream through that final corner. Oh, he did pit though, so. Or did he? No, he didn't. No, he didn't pit. And of course we got a gap to Jack first, who was in the pits there. Most of the car that pitted then, so it looked like they were close, but they weren't because he was actually in the pits. Only just a fast lap of the race, a 41.8 then. Let's see if we can get anywhere near that on this lap. And it looks like Zephyr's actually managed to destroy his vehicle there. And look on the minimap, look, he's on the pit entry, but looks like he's probably just run a little bit wide there and just flown into the pit wall, the end of the pit wall, which is not a nice place to have a crash. I feel like that would hurt a lot. Into the first set now, into 20.7 out of course because of the pit stop last lap. Just 2.8 then, that's Jack first though. Expect to have gained time on ownage though. I don't know, can't really measure it with Jack first in the way there. As a safety car deployed, safety car has been deployed then. That would have been because of Zephyr's crashed, and ironically his car is actually already out of the way and you can't see it on the mini anymore. His car has already magically disappeared, but safety car has been released. So, safety car period then. On lap 8 of 31 in Singapore for this race. It's not often this happens. I think we had one last year, didn't we? So straight to lean then. I think I've already done that. And short shifting as well. Also trying to conserve tyres. You can see the front right there's overheating a little bit, so I don't want it to be doing that. Very wide. They're almost into the barrier. Very close. You do not want to be losing your front wing in a safety car period. Very silly thing to do. Pace does not matter at this point, as I've gone way deep there. Once again, I'm trying to take it easy, but taking too much speed in the corners. Short shifting just unsettles your pace, and just you don't really get a feel for how much speed to take into the corners. And actually managed to destroy Jack first there in terms of time into the pits, but that doesn't really matter. He's going to pit now, I expect. Yep, he was still on new tyres, so that's going to benefit him, I'd imagine. And you see the black dib on the map then, that's the safety car, moving very slowly, waiting for me and Onish to catch him up. And you see Onish just ahead there then, so as once again I've done the same thing. They stayed in 6th, trying to conserve some fuel, and ended up right off the track. Just once again, like I said, upset my flow there. And Onish just ahead now, very much short shifting. So once we've got the safety car up, it'll be a lot easier, because of course we'll be held to safety car speed. But we'll have to wait. And usually the safety car in this game waits for everyone to catch the pack. Catch the catch the tail behind the safety car, and then we'll go. So we'll skip ahead then. There we go. Another lap, a lap and a half, because obviously it's very boring just watching behind the safety car. So a little bit deep there. I'm expecting safety car to come in this lap. As you can see behind, everyone's caught up, and there is confirmation safety car in this lap. Then so only straight away backs right out of it, and he will now effectively become the safety car. So I've got to abide by him as if he's the safety car. And I've got +2 of fuel now then, so plenty of fuel to take us to the end. Only lap 10 of 31, so that's good. Nice lot of fuel, can go to Rich a lot then. But look at that, actually, only just on option tyres. Didn't see that before. Only is on option tyres. Well, I knew it in the race, but in commentary I didn't see it before. So that's definitely a disadvantage for him, because his tyres will be almost worn, almost dead by now. Mine are not, and look at these rear tyres. Well, mine, they're a bit cold. But here we go then. Does he go? No. Now he goes. So didn't want to do too much swerving there to avoid any silly goings on. Losing lots of time to ownage there, but a bit of reason why I use lots of curves on that final corner as well. Just half a second back then, so not bad at all. Taking it a little bit easy now, not really sure where the grip is. As I said, ownage on options then, so his tyres would already be quite worn then. That explains how he managed to pull so much out of me with the undercut. If he was on option tyres. Bit of an unusual strategy there to go option. But I imagine he's going to go prime. Oh, we can't do. Mine was option prime, wasn't it? So unless he's going to go option prime, it'd be a good job for him in terms of tyre if he's able to do that. But I imagine he's got to go prime. So 2 more stops left for ownage, only 1 more left for me then. Should be able to make these tyres last without too many issues now with that safety car period. But that's definitely compromised his strategy there. Of course, he had that 4 or 5 seconds as Fat First rather hits the barrier really quite hard behind. You saw that. Just happened to look behind at the right time, and he really thumped into that barrier. He'd been lucky not to lose a bit of front wing there. He might have hit it with his wheels instead of his wing. He'd be lucky. So that's already created quite a big gap then to the cars behind ownage once again. They're getting a bit of a oversteer on the entry there. Having to correct it. But hopefully maybe we'll just stick with him now that his tyres are more worn than mine. Hopefully won't let him pull away, and that's been confirmed there through the middle sectors. Once again, almost in the barrier. They're very close indeed from me. As it is now 2 seconds then to Fat First. Still just half a second to him, of course. So then, like I said, definitely compromised ownage in terms of strategy. That 5 seconds that he'd already built up. You need about 20 seconds for pit stop on average across all the tracks. So that 5 seconds he'd already built up. You need to build up 20 effectively to do an extra stop. So that's already been destroyed. So I should now, and of course the 2 laps that were behind the safety car, he wasn't able to build out gaps. So I should now be okay till the end. In theory, I think. But you can never count ownage out, that's for sure. It's still just 2 seconds to Fat First then, not pulled out anymore. You can never ever count ownage out, so I'm still going to push, run my race, just not ignore him. I can't ever ignore him, but just push. I'm not going to take it. He's not going to think, well, that's my win in the bag then, don't need to worry about ownage. Still going to push to try and stick with him for now. Let's see how it goes thereafter. See my tyres starting to wear there, but not too bad. 12 of 31. Just 6/10 then back to him now, so it looks like I'm able to stick with him for now. Unless he's got one other level he's about to find, but we'll see. 2.9 to Smuffler now then, so Smuffler's managed to overtake Fat First there. That was a pretty sweet corner, a bit wide, but just managed to avoid the barrier. You see the rubber starting to appear on the track then, that definitely helps tyre wear. When the track starts to get rubbered in. Nice lot of curve once again there. You hear me there just slapping the throttle, just trying to make the car turn in, give it a good front end. Do I do it here? No, I don't. I just get smooth on the throttle on the exit for that corner. And I always find it interesting to find things like that, because I'm not really aware I'm doing things like that particularly. I'm a little bit, but not like, I couldn't explain to you all the techniques I use on any given track or any given session even. I just do them naturally. Here, do I use it this corner? A little bit pumping on the exit there, but not too much. More a case of being smooth on the throttle this corner. No, once again, just a case of being smooth there. So I'm pretty sure I use it when on the longer corners, whereas understeer, just to try and get the front end to bite. Whereas in the slower corners, you don't really need it. It's more of a case of stop and go. Stop, full corner, very wide there. Managed to get back on the track for it. Auto brake for me, I think, but it's definitely not an ideal line for there. Almost 0.8 of a second to ownage now then, so he's managed to pull out for me little by little. And I've done on my first lap of the race there, 42.2. 3/10 of my previous. But which is also a little bit faster. Not a lot, a couple of tenths maybe here and there, but not a lot at all. Just trying to listen out if I was doing the throttle blip in there. I don't think I did it through that corner. That corner is fast enough to not really need to do it. Let's see, do I do it for this corner? I wouldn't imagine I would. No, much more smooth on the throttle. What about this corner? I wouldn't imagine I will. A little bit, a few stabs, and this corner is the one I heard on last lap. Ooh, a little bit wide there, but managed to get away with that, so a little bit there, but I think it depends on the corner. If I've got a bit of understeer, if I have a bit of understeer and I'm running wide, I'll just blip the throttle just to try and get the front end to turn in. Put a bit of weight on the front tyres just to make them, that doesn't make sense, it's the other way around. Brakes would do that. But I do tend to do that as well. I balance the brake pedal, I don't just brake and then let go of the brakes and that's it. I tend to balance the throttle and brake, and so going into a corner I might brake throttle, for example, a few times. This corner, would I do it? Yeah, I might do it in this corner just to kind of modulate my speed and get the front end to bite once again. So just 6 tenths behind Erich now then, so I managed to close him down, so I think his tyres are starting to wear now, and look at this, a lot closer to him than I was. I think his tyres are definitely starting to wear a little bit wide in the exit there. Get away with it without touching the barrier just about. And looks like a much bigger gap to Fat First there. I managed to get back past Smuffle, they've been battling then, slowing each other down. There's another group behind them that have been battling again, it looks like. And lots of oversteer there, just drifting around the whole corner, looks like he's going to pit this lap. Just drifting around there, so his rear tyres are obviously not healthy. And much better final call that time, didn't go off the track. And so it does indeed have to pit then really quite early. So we straight away then skip right ahead to lap 17, which will now become lap 18. Which I think it's when I'm due to pit, isn't it? Yeah, there we go, pits up on the right hand side, I am due to pit. Second on my previous then, so I must have made a mistake on the previous lap. 6 seconds now to Smuffler then, so a reasonable sized gap. But I can tell you, Smuffler had very good pace this race actually. He was managing to maintain that gap, see if he managed to do it over the course of this lap. But he was managed to maintain the gap to me, which usually I tend to pull out on him little by little, but being able to maintain the gap was yeah, very impressive. So let's see. Is it going to stay around 6 seconds, or is it going to increase bit by bit? So I'm going to pit at the end of this lap. I wouldn't imagine I'll stay out another lap, or will I? That was a nice corner there. Still 6 seconds then, so yeah, once again, middle sector's more of a deciding sector though. The first sector's mostly straight. So we'll see if it makes a difference in the middle sector. There's my OSD on the side there, reminding me once again I've got to pit, and once again a couple of stabs at that turn in there. And rears are a bit more than the front, but I've been a little bit careful on them, hence them not being too bad. Ooh, we're still on the exit there though. Just getting on the throttle a little bit too early, a little bit too keen there. And for the gears then. Let's see then. Is he still 6 seconds behind me, Smuffler? He is indeed, so my tyres might be a bit more worn than him maybe, but yeah, still impressive regardless. Usually I think I'm about half a second lap quicker than him, usually, roughly. Maybe not quite so much as that. Usually a good few tenths quicker than him. So impressive race from him, must be said. So I'm now going to put on the end of lap 18 then, which will leave me 13 laps to do till the end on my next set of tyres. And I've done, what is it? Oh, as the curb completely catches me there. And luckily didn't use my front wing. Lots of wheel spin there. And that curb can do that. It has done it to me once or twice before. And that's very frustrating. That lost me a good few seconds, didn't it? Not sure exactly how much, but it wasn't the whole 6 seconds I had to Smuffle. It must have cost me at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 seconds. Definitely cost me a lot of time there. 7.5 seconds I lost to the line, but of course that included the pit entry. And that curb can do that if you just catch it wrong. Just get your tyre hooked in it, it can just spin you either left or right. It seems all a bit random, I can't really work out. It did happen to be in practice, but it spun me left that time and actually spun me round. This time it tried to spin me right, but of course the barrier was in the way. And like I said, very lucky not to lose my front wing there. A little bit wide there, but get away with it. And like I said, lucky not to lose my front wing, even though I was coming in that lap. That would have cost me an extra maybe second at least in the pits to replace the front wing. So it was the right lap for it to happen though, just as I was coming into the pits. More frustrating if it happened now and I lost the position to Raiden behind. But certainly not ideal there. Having that half spin just pitched me into the barrier. And so random. But there we go, we'll get over that now and just carry on with our race. Luckily we did have that bit of cushion. That had been deeply frustrating while I was racing wheel to wheel Vonage there, or very close to him. But luckily I wasn't. 10 seconds then, Orange is ahead now. Like I said, I do believe he's got to pit again. So we will see now if I can close the gap down. So that will leave him effectively 10 laps to gain 10 seconds on me once he's pitted. Like I said, about a 20-second pit stop, so works out as he will be about 10 seconds behind by the time he's pitted. So I expect he might go for another set of options at the end though. We'll see. But if I can close that gap down, that would be wonderful. to, if I can get that down to say 5 seconds, he will then need 15 seconds towards the end, of course. So just a bit just that again, bit of a bigger safety net for me there, which will always be nice. And 10.3 seconds to him then. At the moment, like I said, just keep an eye on that with my fresher tyres. I believe he's on primes at the moment. And they will, of course, be more worn than mine. We saw him pit for those primes. So they will be fairly worn. But not too bad. They won't be gone yet, but they will be certainly worn. So it looks like Smuffler's pit now then. So let's see. We know there's, say, a 2-second undercut. It's quite a big undercut on this track. So let's see what the gap's going to be to him. But unfortunately, we're going to have Raiden behind, who's going to unfortunately not allow us to see a gap to Smuffler. And does he stay ahead of that other car then? Look at the minimap. Looks like he does just about. And a bit disappointed we're not going to get a gap to him now. I'll try and count it. Ready, go! Just counting out, ignore me. So still about 6 seconds to Smuffler then, so it looks like I must have lost about 2 seconds or so with that spin. I reckon 2, maybe 3 seconds, so it wasn't too bad. Definitely could have been worse. So I managed to do a purple first sector then. 9.8 seconds to ownage then, so half a second in just 2 sectors, I think that was. So looking like I am going to be faster. A little bit wide there, though. Just managed to avoid the barrier once again. And it's very difficult in those situations to judge how much throttle to put on to manage to avoid the barrier, but still get a half-decent exit. And I managed to judge it quite nicely there. So we're purple for now. It would be quite nice to get a fast lap of race. You can see I'm on rich there, even in this sector, so I'm pushing now. Trying to close down the gap to ownage and trying to get a purple lap. It's always nice to come up saying you had a fastest lap of anyone in the race. So we'll see if I can get one of those. Am I still purple? I am indeed. And 9.2 then to ownage. So that's half a second in the middle sector alone. So he's losing a lot of time there with his tyres. So I'll be surprised if he doesn't pit very soon for a set of prime tyres, because of how much time he's losing to me on fresher tyres. And not just me, of course. Raiden behind me, Smuffler behind him, Fat First behind him. I think it's Fat First. So a lot of cars he's losing time to, not just me. I'm surprised he doesn't pit. He doesn't pit, but looks like he stayed out. Maybe one more lap. Can't see him doing any more than one more lap. If he's going to continue to lose that sort of time unless he made a mistake, only he'll know that at the moment. And I managed to do a purple, then a 40.6. Pretty good lap. 8.6 to ownage, so another, well, over half a second. So in that lap then, I gained, well, a second and a half to him. So quite an achievement there, and he will now see that fastest lap, and I expect he'll see that and go, wow, my lap times are a lot slower than that. I need to pit. And take a nice little curve on the inside. I tend to try and avoid that curve, but as long as you take a lot of it, it's not the end of the world if you do hit it. As always, if you just take a little bit of curve there, it does compromise you. It gives you lots of fun to see. It bounces you across the track. So we're on another 10th and a half up then in the first sector. Purple, faster than anyone once again. 7.7 to ownage then, so he's lost even more time. What was it? 8.3, wasn't it? So another half a second that first sector, which is mostly straight, so he really does need to pit. As I said, I'll be surprised if he doesn't pit this lap. Let's see if we can get the gap down. Maybe even under 5 seconds at the end of this lap if his tyres are that bad. I can continue to do purples. Again, you heard there a couple of stabs at the throttle trying to get the car to turn in. Take a nice little curve there. A little touch of the barrier there on the outside. Just pushing, just licking the curve there once again. You can see visually that I'm pushing with my wheel movements, my pedal movements. Just hustling the car around the track, really trying to get a good lap in. And 4/10 up my previous 6.2 to ownage then. So far in this lap, that's a second that I've gained on him. So it's looking like another second and a half is going to be this lap. Presuming he has a half-decent final sector, and surely he'll pit this lap. Surely. He's losing, well, next lap I expect to be 2 seconds a lap at least to me. With his worn tyres. Let's watch on the linear then. Will he pit? He needs to turn left now if he's going to. And looks like he stayed wide. I think he stayed out. He has indeed. He stayed out then. So he's going to lose even more time to me then. So that's doesn't guarantee me the win as such. I can still make a mistake, or someone behind me can pounce on me. 3/10 up then. So another fast lap of 40.3. Very good lap. I'm happy with that. And at 5.4 seconds then only. So that was almost 2 seconds on that final lap, on that last lap there. Let's see. Oh, a bit of oversteer there, but let's see if I can gain even more time on this lap. Just as a bit of fun. It's always fun gaining this much time on average, isn't it? It's always enjoyable, like in Spa. Similar sort of thing. Absolutely hunted it down towards the end. It's always good. Always good fun. So, was it 5.2? Was it 5.4? Something like that. What is it now? 5 seconds. So, I think it's 5.4. So, 4/10 the first sector. Then a little bit less than it has been, but I lost 2/10. You can see that on the right side. So that'll explain it. It would have been 6/10 without that. Can I get him under 3 seconds before the end? Before he pits? He must be this lap. He must. Surely we're all going to be able to overtake him on the track, which of course he does not want. So, can I get him under 3 seconds? That'd be an amazing achievement if I can. I expect I need a bit of a mistake from him. I don't know actually, unless his tyres really do go off. Breaking quite deep there, but getting away with it. These tyres got a lot of grip still. Less than 10 laps left to go now then, and I'm hunting goes down with him, still left 1 pit stop left to go, so I pretty much guaranteed to beat him 4 seconds then, so 1.4 seconds already gained on this lap, and I expect he will pit at the end of this lap, so we won't get another gap, unfortunately. But over a second would be a lot to get in one sector, so I'll be surprised if we got it. But you can start to see him there ahead. We just saw a glimpse of him turn into there under this grandstand here. And didn't quite manage to catch him that time. I expect we'll catch him coming to the pits this time though, will we? And there he is. Yeah, you can see him there coming to the left hand side, going to the pits just as I predicted. A little later than I perhaps thought, but there he is then in the pits. We just saw him in the pit lane. And nice and easy then for me across the line. So we now skip then right ahead to lap 29 of 31, and you can see there it is starting to rain then. There is a few spits of rain. It's not wet just yet, but it's just going to spice up the end of this race, and I've got a little gap in the lead after orange pit. 6.9 seconds to be precise to Smuffler, so once again doing a pretty good job maintaining the gap there. We've only managed to put out a second on him in the last, say, 10 laps, so very, very good job by him. And the track does look quite wet in that sector, especially on that rubbered in line. It looks really quite wet. So it might even be on inters before the end. If it rains hard, might have to pit. Perhaps next lap, won't be this lap, but perhaps next lap. If it rains hard in certain sectors, look at the track. It does look a little bit wet, but I'm still pushing for now, pretending like it's dry. So hard to do in these conditions, but you really have just got to pretend like it's dry. For now you have at least. Of course when it gets a bit more wet it's a bit different, but you see that, got a lot of grip. The car's happy to turn in. So again, look at the track. It does look so wet, but still lots of grip. These tires are giving me. Just starting to lose a little bit of grip now. Unless the track's suddenly soaking wet in one corner, you will notice rear end. You'll lose more on the front end, or unless you lock a tyre, but of course be a bit wary of that when it starts to rain. And, half a second down then, so I was certainly going a little bit slower, but not too much. Let's get up to Smuffler. 7.2, so he's gone even slower than me then. Getting it all slowed down there. And now this final sector is starting to get a little bit wetter for sure. I am having to take it a little bit easier through here. Just to avoid locking a wheel or touching a barrier, particularly on this track. Oh, bit of oversteer there, just touching the barrier. Just oversteered it into the wall there. And this final sector is definitely quite wet. I haven't even done to shift down through that corner now then, so look at this track, this is definitely wetter. I might even have to pit the end of this lap. We'll see how the first couple of sectors are. But of course, I can't take any risks. I'm in the lead of this race by a good margin. And you lose about 20 seconds with a pit stop, as I mentioned before, so it does seem to be very wet, but this first sector isn't really too wet. The track looks even wetter, but it's not too bad. 7.4 then to Smuffler, so even more gap. And it's 7 seconds between him and Onage then, so nice big gap between them. Hopefully Onage will be third, so I can gain a few more points on in the championship. Hopefully get a nice good lead going. So then half a second down on that first sector alone, so it's definitely wetter. And it looks like it's raining harder as well for sure. So will I pit at the end of this lap? Bit of oversteer there, but there's still reasonable grip. It looks so wet and it's raining so hard, but the tyres are still gripping. They're not too bad for now. 7.5 to Smuffler, so pulling out a little bit on him. I seems to have more confidence than him in these conditions. I'm going to cut the corner there quite badly, just trying to... Oh, they gave me... my front tyres gave me more grip than I expected through there. Just turned in nice and early, thinking I was going to understeer, and actually I've got quite a lot of grip. Just rest my curves now down this straight. Not really many chances to use it once it's wet. Very hard to get power down, especially if you want a bit of booster power. 1.5 down then. You can go fast, you're probably going to go half a second faster than that, but just taking it easy, don't want to make any mistakes. 7.8 to Smuffler, so pulling out more to him. And has only managed to close him down a little bit. He has indeed 5.2 only then to Onage. So he's managed to close him down quite considerably. And of course dry under the tunnel there. But this final sector really is wet, but still not ready for inters then. So in a race, I might go for inters now. In fact, a race I probably would go for inters now in a middle of a race when I'm not leading. But because I'm in the leading, because it's only we're now coming to the final lap of the race, it just wouldn't be worth me pitting for inters. So I'm just going to struggle on the final lap. Do the cars behind me pit? If they do, I should, unless it really gets wet and I make a big mistake. Should be okay. Smuffler doesn't pit. And Onage doesn't pit then, so it's one more lap to go. And I missed the gap, unfortunately, to Smuffler there, but Onage has only got 4 seconds between him and Smuffler now, so he's closing down hugely then, so Smuffler's not got good confidence in these conditions at all. And it's definitely wetter, but nothing I can't handle really. It's not too bad. It's definitely wet, but using all my curves now, just getting that out of the way, so I don't have to use it later in the lap. Braking very early there, 6/10 in that first sector alone. And even though I braked early, still ended up off the track there. This is pretty wet now, just need to take it easy. Ran wide there, but managed to avoid the barrier. 9 seconds to Smuffler now, so he's losing a lot of time to me. And he's Yeah, Onage getting even more on him though. 3.3 only between them now, so Onage could even sneak second position here if he's an awesome final lap. We'll see. And again, just trying to get the car to the finish now. Definitely not taking optimal laps through here. Lots of oversteer, lots of understeer. Everything's going on. Huge understeer through here. No grip from these dry tyres now. Just being very cautious on the throttle. It's not too bad though. I have still got grip. I'm not just sliding everywhere. But this final sector we know will be very, very wet. It was pretty wet for previous laps. Now even wetter. And look at this. Yes, indeed. You can always see it's wetter. Okay, also down once again up to the Smurf now. 10.6. Nice big gap. But only 2.2 then to Onage. I just drift through that corner there. Still drifting, just sliding, just trying to get to the finish now. No mistakes. Plenty gap. 10 seconds in one sector. I just touched the barrier there, but managed to keep it on the track. It don't even matter if I lost my front wing there with just one sector left to go. Just trying to get it through the final sector unscathed. Like I said, not worried about speed. Just going to get it to the end. Lots of short shifting there, right up to third. Around the final corner then for me to take the win in the Singapore Grand Prix. Full throttle for the run to the line. Lots of wheel spin up to fifth gear. Lots and lots of wheel spin there. And managed to take the win by 13.2 seconds. And Smart does Onage there, but actually Smuffler had a penalty that got removed, so he went straight back up to second position. And it was just, what was it? Not a lot. There we go. Just a tenth of a second, I think it was, between them. So very, very close indeed. But Smuffler did manage to get ahead of Onage once his penalty had been removed there. So good win for me. I'm happy with that. Very good result in Singapore. Very good history in Singapore. I think I've won every single race I've ever raced at Singapore in this league. Could be wrong, but I think that's right. And I managed to finally break the cycle. You can see there, the first guy in this season to get 2 wins in a row. Me and Onage just alternated wins up until now. He's won one, I've won one, 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 and then I've won another one. So I'm the first guy to win 2 in a row. And also, that's the first time this season that I've managed to pull ahead. And I did feel like I needed a win there at Singapore. It's my track, and Korea I'm not very confident at, but Singapore is absolutely my track. So 7 points ahead then for the first time in this championship, first time in this league rather. No, first time in this season, this championship I guess was the right word. Managed to pull ahead of Onage then, so hopefully I can hold onto that gap and hopefully extend it even in the next race with just 6 races left to go till the season finale then. And the title is most definitely on once again here. So happy with that result with Singapore though, and I thank you for watching. Bye bye.